Hi, this is Scott Holstad, poet, writer, author, and I'm about to try and read a few poems, short poems, ideally from one of my old collections. I've been doing this off and on for a few months now, in addition to starting these readings in October of last year, 2025, to support my new book, Surviving Immortality, again. Alien Buddha Press, October 2025, available on Amazon. I also know most of you have never seen, read, owned, etc. any of my old out-of-print poetry collections, which go way back. So I started reading from my first one, Street Poems, published in 1991. And I've read from a few, and I decided I wanted to go ahead and read from the next one. I'm trying to go chronologically for the most part. And what I thought was my fifth collection, because there were 4 listed inside, previously published. Turns out that this was at least my 7th, because I had others from those early years that I actually didn't know about, or that popped up. It was a different time back then. But Junction City was published in 1993, small collection, chapbook. One of my favorites for a long, long time. It was the best quality in terms of the production value, the materials used to make it, by Sister Moon Press in Phoenix, Arizona. Heavy cardstock. You can maybe see I have a new camera and a new computer. I'm not used to the system. But some of my early chapbooks, the covers were simply paper. Small indie places, put these out at their own expense. Didn't make anything, lost money. I had my own small press for a while and put others out, a few, and it was a labor of love. No one wasn't making money, but the publisher, Amy Bowling, had created Sister Moon Press probably around 1990, and a journal that became, I think, bi-monthly, the Journal of Sister Moon, that published me for years, starting with when I moved out to Phoenix with their second edition, and for quite a long time published a lot of my stuff. And I think this was their first collection, poetry collection, chapbook that they tried to publish, or did publish. And there were some nice touches. You didn't, I've got to figure out, my new camera. I also, in case you haven't seen my videos, still in my hospital, had major surgery just two weeks ago to surgically repair my shoulder and arm, rotator cuff surgery, removing my bicep, a lot of other stuff. I also had emergency surgery the month before to remove part of my thumb, and that I'm worried they didn't do a good job, and so my right side is largely messed up, so I can't really write, can't really email. There was a picture of me in the back taken, Jesus, I gotta get used to this camera, taken of me probably in 1992, somewhere outside of South Phoenix. I'm sorry about them. I have a hard time holding left-handed, weak, and I have some neurological conditions that run in my family, essential tremor, Parkinson's, that type of stuff. So I have lifelong trembling issues, so I can't use my good hand, my right hand, and I can't use both hands like I normally would to steady something. But I rambled too long. I'm already going on 5 minutes for all of my videos, so I just want to go ahead and read a few poems. This was really one of my favorite. Remains one of my favorite collections, and probably was my favorite early collection. And got some decent press. It's largely forgotten now, sadly, collector's item. But Marvin Malone, the editor of Wormwood Review, which was Bukowski's biggest supporter and publisher as far as magazines. Obviously, Sparrow Press publishes books. But Marvin Malone said that Junction City is highly, highly recommended. He called this, or he called one of my other ones, a modern day classic in print. Issues number 135 and 138 of Wormwood Review. Anyway, the stuff in here is very, very typical of what I was writing like and about back then. A lot of it's raunchy, a lot of it's meant to be kind of funny, some dark humor. Some of the stuff the best stuff I'm probably not going to read because I'll just offend too many people. It was a different era back then. I mean, I wrote this stuff in 1990 and 91. And some of the stuff was actually published in pretty decent university literary journals, much to my surprise. And I literally saw the first poem in this, which was republished last year by a pretty good journal, Breakfast Machine. I've seen it referenced several times by people I don't know and places I didn't know about or know of, said that they thought that Breakfast Machine, for instance, influenced a lot of their thinking and writing during a certain period. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to read it. But I am going to read some, and again, back then I got a lot of comparisons to Bukowski for years from the beginning. I was fortunate enough to get to know Bukowski and go over to his house, and he signed books and shirts for me, and I've posted one or two of these on my website and on Instagram. My website, hankrules2011.com. So if you're familiar with Bukowski, whether you like him or not, you may recognize sort of a similarity in attitude or whatnot. It wasn't necessarily intentional. It's just how things were for a long time before there was a big change in the mid to late 90s in my writing. But the first one I'm going to read from the collection, and if you can find this anywhere, a good damn lot. I have a number of older, out-of-print chapbooks and books of mine, some on sale on my website, some you can find on various online bookstores and other places, but there are some I don't even have copies of, actually, and I don't know if I even have any of this that I could sell, let alone donate to a library. I just don't. Wish I did. This first one is called Holding Out. He said, "I don't like the fact that you name drop in your poems. That has got to go." Name drop, I said. What are you talking about? Well, look here, he said, pulling out some poems. Look at these names. Bauhaus, Warhol, David Lynch. Hell, I thought I ought to be getting friggin' endorsement fees. What? I said, what's the fucking problem, man? It's really no big deal to have them there. They go, I go. No damn buck. He looked at me over the top of his wire-rimmed glasses. It just sounds, I don't know, tacky is all. Yeah, tacky. I said, well, why don't we take some time, think this over, get back together in a few weeks? Luckily for him, they went under in a couple of weeks, stone cold dead, paying their authors too damn much. But, I have a lot of weird stories with about publishers from way back when. A lot of weird stories. This next one, but it's like wearing a raincoat. The phone rang once, twice, and when I picked it up, She said, "Hi, hon. Guess what? I've decided to go off the pill. In fact, I stopped taking them Sunday." After a momentary panic attack, during which I wondered whether the old ticket would make it, I asked her about this motive for this course of action. She told me there were no imminent third-party plans. She just wanted a break from the pill. "I think you might want to buy a new box of condoms." I hate condoms. I told her that 80% of Portuguese women practice anal sex as a method of birth control. There was a lengthy pause, and then she growled, "Like I said, you might want to buy a new box of condoms." A very short one here called Gesture. My girlfriend wants to get me a pair of Birkenstocks. It's not that I think sandals are for hippies. Jerry Laughlin wears them, and he's a professor. And it's not that I think they're a West Coast item. And it's not that I don't appreciate her kindness. It's just that when you wear sandals, you have to clip your toenails. I amused myself, at least, back then. Actually, I amused a few other people back then. They're probably all dead now. Not from that, I hope. It's just a long time ago. I think I'm just going to read one more. These are really short. This is going to be, for me, a moderately short video, but there are a couple others I'd like to read. I think I'm just going to go with this one called Dirty. I am in a dumpy coffee house in Long Beach reading a book, kind of looking at the people, strange strangers, half-dead looking. Some hungover losers, old men trying to retain some semblance of youth. Young girls, all-knowing swingers, hipsters. One pretty boy looks at me, and I finally return his glance, and he asks if I know how to play chess. He's bored. Well, I do. But I say no, don't feel like hanging with anyone. One fuzz in civvies walks in, smells the place up. Two Jesus freaks beside me are discussing God. One lonely little gal, face painted heavily, looking and leering at me kind of lusty-like. She wants to screw me. She wants to be loved for a few hours at least. I look away. People need peace. I enjoy her appearance now. Don't want what follows. It's raining hard outside. Lives are breaking in the storm. Thank you. Scott C Holstad, Junction City. Hard to find. If you contact me at my website, I might be able to do one up if you're interested. I don't do this, nor do I do this for a living or money, so I don't know the spiel everybody apparently knows, but, like, hit, subscribe, blah, 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 comment, share. Sharing is good. I don't get many views on YouTube because apparently I don't play right with the what their expectations are to get noticed, but people share these to other platforms, and I get more notices on others. So anyone you may have seen or heard or made it through this video, thank you. And again, I welcome engagement, comments, sharing. I never know how to wind these down, so I just do. It's February 2nd. I hope everybody has a great week. Take care.